They just refuse to leave this family alone. What happens to the Bundys happens to the rest of us.
I need you to understand the situation. I've tried everything I could to make peace with St. Luke's executives and the Hull and Hart attorneys, but they've rejected every offer, of peace, every token of peace. Take a look at this, these documents. I mean, this is only 2 weeks worth of court documents that's been sent. Amongst all this, they are claiming that we are the ones that are continually harassing them. And it couldn't be, they're claiming this in the court documents and so forth. It couldn't be further from the truth. It's just opposite. We just want to be left alone. There's more trouble for me. This morning we, as a family, we read the scriptures every morning before the kids go to school, where the Lord said, if any man sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, give him thy cloak as well. And then it says that if he compel thee to go a mile, go with him too. And that's hard doctrine, especially right now for me. And I do believe the Lord. I believe that his word will bring peace. I want to exercise a little faith, send a message to St. Luke's. Chris Roth, who's the CEO, and Eric Stidham, who's the head attorney over at Hull and Hart representing them. Whatever you want, that's mine, you can have. I'll give it to you. This show from CPS is streaming on Paramount, I believe, titled FBI's Most Wanted. This is season 4, episode 18. It happened to air just a couple days ago on April 18th, which is the very same day that they issued a warrant for my arrest.
2 hostages, then a cattle call. These ranchers are up to something. Notify the governor and ask him to activate the National Guard. We don't want another Ammon Bundy standoff.
People are saying that the Bundy standoff 2.0 is brewing in Idaho, as Ammon Bundy just wants to be left alone, like we all have a right to be left alone to privately pursue our own life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. But the corrupt elitists of this nation are using their Babylonian system to build a false media narrative and attack the Bundy family. We invite you to stay tuned to this channel for an upcoming interview with Ammon on what's going on. However, to be successful in understanding what is currently happening, you might want to be caught up with what happened in the past. I've recently found that many people are not fully aware of the Bundy family's history back in 2014 when the Bundy standoff 1.0 happened. So to help bring you up to speed for the educational benefit of the community at this critical time, we'd like you to learn from the following short film, which has not been available to purchase for many years. A Day at Bundy's by filmmaker Dennis Michael Lynch. We hope this will catch more people up in understanding what happened in Bundy 1.0 to prevent the media from spinning his past incorrectly during the current situation. After you see the film, you can know that all charges which were later brought against the family failed, and they were found not guilty. The Bundy family has a history of supporting everyone else's rights, whether you're on the left and you're upset about police violence, or if you're on the right and you're upset about property rights violations. This family will stand for anyone with a just cause. The Bundy family deserves the support of all Americans. The Bundy family is America's family.
What happens to the Bundys happens to the rest of us.
First car just arrived. I could see there's more coming in. The militia's all lined up. On the other side, you got the cops and the feds. They're piling in. This thing is going to blow.
Dennis, be careful.
You went out there. How tense was it?
Well, you know the kind of work I do. I've never experienced anything like this.
Even along the southern border where you go?
I've looked at cartel in the face. This was different. These people were willing to die.
Get it going, cowboys. Let's go get it done.
Go.
It all started for me a few nights before the standoff. I had just wrapped up an appearance on Fox News. The topic was immigration and border security. Then I hopped on a late train from New York to Washington, D.C., where I was scheduled to be a speaker at an immigration conference. But because of my late arrival, the hotel had given away my room. So I decided to return home. I grabbed a train back to New York. That's when I first learned of rancher Cliven Bundy. I got an email with a video attached. It showed agents from the Bureau of Land Management, also known as the BLM, using taser guns, dogs, and physical force against Bundy's children, their supporters, and even a pregnant woman. I finished the video and immediately called my contact over at the Kelly file. I say, what's the story with this guy? She explains to me in short form that he has had this ongoing fight with the BLM for about 20 plus years, and that now they have come in and confiscated his cattle because he's not paying some sort of grazing fee. Sounded strange to me and certainly no grounds for being tasered. But anyway, she says that militia from all over the country and supporters of this guy are all gathering together on Saturday afternoon to help him get back his cattle from the federal government. But if I would like to go out there and cover it, that they'll send a Fox truck so I could give live updates. They expect it to be a huge event. Now, I've been to plenty of protests in my day, but none like this. It was like 3 scenes from 3 different movies coming together. The first scene reminded me of something out of Rambo. Guys in camouflage were standing with long guns at the ready. They had sidearms too, and facial expressions of ultimate determination. Some had been living in tents on the Bundy property for days. And then there was the scene up on the hill with the cowboys. That was my favorite. Real, authentic cowboys. They had the boots and the spurs and the guns and the chewing tobacco. They had the Stetson hats. They had the whole yee-haw. I mean, it was something out of a John Wayne Western. It was fantastic. And they sat on their horses up on that hill and they overlooked everything, the stage, the militia, and the third scene, which was the families. Grandfathers and grandmoms, dads, mothers, kids of all ages. They all traveled from various parts of the country to support Cliven Bundy and his family. Keep in mind, I'm pretty much still in the dark at this point. I don't understand the backstory. I know cattle, I know tasering, BLM, Clive Bundy, and a bunch of people holding up signs about Harry Reid and land grabs. And just as I think I'm starting to put the pieces together, Bundy's son starts to speak.
My dad's asked that I conduct this meeting. And just so you know kind of what's going on is we're waiting for our county sheriff to join us. If we're going to have this dialogue, we're going to have the dialogue in front of the people. Yeah! And so my dad doesn't know what the sheriff has come to talk about. But let's just hear him out, and then we'll know where we're at when we're done, okay? I also want to talk a little bit about our feelings. A week ago, I looked up on those hills and they were completely occupied, and we were under martial law by an unauthorized agency. And that's the way it was. If we stepped off the road, they would pounce off of us and shove our faces in the dirt. And to have that feeling, I've never had it before in this country, to have the feeling of freedom taken away from you. My friends, it is not a good feeling. My family and the community has run these hills and enjoyed these hills for generations. Never once in the history of this nation have those mountains ever been restricted from us. And yet this week, they were. So a battle began where my brother was taken down by about 20 agents and taken to a federal jail. And we had to battle for him. And then they didn't even prosecute him, just dumped him out on the street once they knew that everybody's going to make a big enough stink. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Then we had another young man down here that pulled off on this little road right here. He's done it his whole life. He's 16 years old, and they surrounded him and began to do the same thing. But we had about 30 or 40 people right here, and we headed over there as fast as we could, and we backed them down. Okay, and we pushed them off. That's what we did. And then we had another incident after they had cleared all the cattle up here. We had to deal with their helicopters and their snipers and their rifles and their guards and all of that garbage. We had to deal with that here for almost a week while they gathered our personal properties to sell. And then to top it off, they have the goal to take a backhoe and a dump truck, go up there and destroy these waters that have been here for over 100 years. And so we decided to put it into that, but we were up against 13 armed vehicles. I mean, armed by these men were highly armed, and they had dogs. And we went down there, and we backed them off, and we did what we had to do, and then we sent them packing. And we showed them at that time that the people have the power. When we unite, we have the power. And friends, this battle is not over, and the war is just begun. But I'm here to tell you that the American people have a God. Whatever you may call him, he is we have a creator. And that creator, is looking over us and caring for us. And he is leading this fight. Today, we have been confirmed from our creator that we do not need to be afraid. Okay? This is his battle. This is his battle.
That was the first time that I recognized this was going in a really bad direction. What concerned me was his emotion. I understood his emotion. He and his family feel as if everything's being taken away from them. Rightfully so or wrongfully so. I understood it. That being said, there's no room for emotion when you're talking about going to war and the battle has just begun and men are walking around with camouflage, long guns, and sidearms. And so now I'm starting to really get concerned because I don't know what the BLM has in store, And what I couldn't understand is why the BLM was in that area to begin with. Why were they being so prickly about the cattle? Why were they selling cattle off and destroying land? And why did men and women from all over the country have to come to defend this family? It just didn't make sense. There had to be a much bigger story here.
Before the BLM, the state grazing permits were controlled by what we call the Taylor Grazing Act. And back in the 90s, the BLM took over, and soon after that, there used to be 50 or so ranchers here in Clark County. So a lot of these guys were bought out, and the county bought them. The county bought their rights, their water, their grazing rights to the land. Well, my dad didn't sell. So here we are now where you got the BLM still here, the county's kind of backed off, and the BLM assumes that this is their job to manage. And they were basically managing my dad out of business.
So you're the only ranchers who have stayed?
We're the only, right here in Clark County, as far as I know, my dad's the last rancher in Clark County, Nevada.
The story's a bit bigger than that. If you go back 20 plus years, you will see that the BLM marked off more than 100,000 acres around the Bundy Ranch as being conservational. Why? Because of this guy, the desert tortoise. BLM said it was endangered, and therefore there would be no mining, there would be no farming, there would be no grazing, there would be no ranching, there would be no off-road vehicle driving. Nothing. Well, this eventually drove the other ranchers away, as Mel told you, but not Cliven Bundy. Cliven Bundy said, hey, my family has been ranching here since 1877, and I do not acknowledge the fact that you have the power to tell me to get off. This property is owned by the state of Nevada. BLM said, all right, Cliven, we're going to have to take you to federal court, and that's what they did. They lined up all the federal lawyers, and Cliven defended himself. So you could see how that turned out. Cliven was told, get your cattle off the property. Cliven said, no, I'm not doing it. And for years, he kept on doing the same thing, had his cattle grazing. And it didn't matter if the BLM gave him fines. It didn't matter if they revoked his license. He kept on going. Finally, the BLM said, we can't stop this guy. We'll just let him do what he's going to do. And the BLM was giving up. But then in 2012, an environmentalist group, the Center for Biological Diversity, steps in and says, hey, BLM, we want them off the property, and either you get them off or we're going to sue you. So the BLM says, all right, we'll try again, and try they do. They go for an injunction against him this time, and they get it in August of 2013. Once again, Cliven says, no, I don't care about your 45-day notice to get off the property. I'm staying. So the BLM tries to step up the pressure and says, you owe us over $1 million of fines. And Cliven says, I owe you nothing. If I even owe anything, it's maybe a couple of $100,000 to the state of Nevada, because they're the ones with the rights, the grazing rights, not you. I am not going to pay you, the federal government, one dime for anything. And don't you even think about giving me a management fee, Bill, because you're not managing this property whatsoever. And so one thing led to the next. And the BLM came in and started confiscating cattle. And before you know it, tasering's happening. And here we are today.
This is all caused by that herd of environmentalists. Them old hippies of the 60s turned into environmentalists. And this not only for this right here today, logging, mining, all the people they've broke. And starting this day, this country's taking her back. And them bunch of people better back up is what they better do. And the government better get on the right side of this thing. They broke enough innocent men. This Bundy family, no more than just a good ranch family. There's a good example of what they've tried to do to them right here on this deal right here. Only the people have finally had enough.
They've had guns pointed at the good guys here for the last 2 weeks, and well, the last 20 years. They've been after the good guy.
Yeah.
When the real criminals, they'll go unharassed, I guess, you know that.
The federal government needs to be down on that border of old. They've had to take this bunch of people who's had their guns aimed at Clive and Bundy and put them down on that border. They're probably not bad people, but put them where they need to be. Down on that border down there, protecting us.
You're talking to the right guy about that one.
Whether you agree with Clive and Bundy or you disagree with Clive and Bundy, I ask you to just consider the following. For the past 5 years, I have been working the southern border from California to South Texas with my cameras. I've been working with the Border Patrol. I've been making videos and films. I cannot tell you how many illegal aliens I have come across in my day. It's countless. I've seen them cross the Rio. I've seen them cross the border fence in Arizona. You name it. And not just illegal alien day laborers. I have seen drug cartel members, human and drug traffickers come through the border and enter acreage that is supposed to be managed by the BLM. Yes, the BLM manages a lot of property along the 2,000 miles of southern border. How many BLM agents do you think I've seen in my 5 years of experience? 0. Never once have I seen a BLM agent standing ground on BLM-managed property, never stopping an illegal alien or a drug runner, and they're certainly not collecting any fines from these guys. Meanwhile, you've got a guy like Clive and Bundy who's working hard trying to ranch to make a couple of bucks. And we've got drug cartels making billions of dollars every single day by coming through BLM property and selling stuff that's poisoning our children and altering the minds of tens of millions of Americans. What, for the desert tortoise? That's what we're doing this for? Something doesn't equate.
Thank you, and I would like to introduce our sheriff. I do want to ask that you are respectful and allow him to speak. And he has been elected. He does hold the authority of the people. And I introduce you to Sheriff Gillespie.
Ladies and gentlemen, the local sheriff.
Good morning. Clive and my purpose out here this morning is to continue, from my standpoint, to keep a very emotional issue safe. To keep a very emotional issue safe. With that being said, I believe a press release has already been put forth that the BLM is going to cease this operation. The Gold Butte allotment will be reopened to the public. And they will be removing their assets here in Clark County. But the next steps is something that I believe you and I should sit down and talk about. So I'll turn that back over to you, I guess.
Where are the cows? Where's the cattle?
The cows are where they have been here for the last few days, and that's what needs to be discussed. And then you and I need to have a conversation about it.
Bring them home! Bring them home!
Good morning, citizens of Clark County, Nevada. Good morning, America. Good morning, world.
It's a good day in Bunkerville!
It is. It's a beautiful day in Bunkerville. Hey, I'm here not to negotiate with the sheriff, but to try to get some legs underneath him and help him along the way if I can.
Yes.
But let me tell you something. I woke up last night, I didn't know what I was going to do, how I was going to handle this. This morning I knew and I woke up, and this is what we, the people, are going to demand this morning. The sheriff has said he's been negotiating with the BLM. That's really nice. Now he's going to negotiate with we, the people.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, our first thing we're going to require of him, disarm the Park Service. We want those arms delivered right here under these flags in 1 hour. And media?
Yes, media document.
Are you here, media?
Right here. Yeah. The country's watching.
I want you to go to every place that they got a federal Park Service station, and you watch those counting machines tear down those places today in the next hour. And if you report back to these people, we the people, in 1 hour, if they're not done, then we'll decide what we're going to do from this point on. Thank you.
At this point, I know 3 things for certain. 1, our chances of the sheriff coming back in an hour are about this big. 2, our chances of the sheriff coming back with all of the government's guns is this. And every supporter of Cliven Bundy now believes this man is a folk hero.
Today is the greatest day in my lifetime. I've lived 65 years. Government just keep taking more and more federal government. Today, that's for the free men of America right there.
Just about what he said. This right here is the best thing I've seen. The people taking their country back.
Now that's what they said they want within an hour to everybody be disarmed.
I just hope it's come to that, because I'd like to see this end without any bloodshed.
What do you think happens if they're not disarmed in an hour? What do you think's gonna happen?
I guess we just keep going on with the plan. That's all I know. I don't know where it's going to lead to, but I don't think we're going to allow him to steal any more of his cattle out here.
We're not lawless. We're not a bunch of wild, crazy cowboys, but we need our sheriffs to back us. And I believe if we have his backing, this can end in an hour.
I guess he's not coming, so I guess we had presents. We thought we had a sheriff here, but evidently we don't have a sheriff here. Now we're going to go and take our land back and declare freedom and liberty here in this land. Is God going to be with us? Do we all feel good? Okay, we're going to go up the freeway. We're going to block the freeway. When we get to the Tocop Bridge, we're going to get out of our cars and we're going to go and open the panels. Do what you need to do. Get it going, cowboys. Let's go get it done.
At that moment right there, I no longer cared about the Fox News truck. I no longer cared about understanding the story and why we were there. The only thing I cared about was what was about to come. And how were we going to ensure the fact that people were going to be kept safe?
I think we had a pretty good turnout today. What do you think?
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah.
Earlier this week, we proved Cliven Bundy is an absolute freeloader. The dictionary defines freeloader as a person who is supported by another without making an adequate return.
I can just tell you that I've never met anybody in my life who was willing to give their life because they didn't want to pay a tax or a fee. This is more than that.
If they decide to come back, then we just do another recall of people? Do it again?
Well, if we do this and we do this right, they won't come back.
Okay.
That's what we want. We don't want
That's
them
what
back.
I was hoping to hear.
We don't want BLM here at all.
Oh,
And
I understand
we're taking
that.
back our county. That's basically what's going to happen. Then we're going to take back our state.
I want my backyard back.
Right?
I want my
That's right.
state back.
When you say you got to do it right, what do you mean?
What I mean, you got to do it right. How do you negotiate with someone who is unauthorized to be here? Absolutely.
Good point.
If I was a thug and I moved into an area and took it over,
Right.
would you deal with me?
Absolutely.
You would deal with me?
How would you do it?
Not at
Oh, I
all.
deal with you in a New York way.
There you go,
That's
buddy.
what I meant. That's what I meant, really. Without the curse words, because your wife is in the front seat.
Thank you.
All right.
We're gonna go cut this fence. We're going down into the wash and meet those cowboys. Yeah, we're just gonna go through the fence. So we're just gonna assemble here, and everybody's gonna get here.
I drove all the way from Idaho to meet you, sir. Thank you for what you're doing. We need your help up in Idaho with these clowns, too. You're a great American.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got all our support. This is my boy, Devin. You're an awesome man. I'm proud of you for what you've done.
Thank you.
And I don't see any of them fuckers disarmed. That really bothers me.
Oh my God.
What do you think's going to happen here?
Hopefully nothing. They're trying to handle it as peacefully and intelligently as possible, but there's no telling. But hopefully everybody on our side is smart enough to do the right thing and not do anything stupid, because there's no reason for anybody to get hurt, to lose their lives on either side.
But it's a possibility.
Well, they're just on the phone with Metro. Metro has the word to shoot on the people going up to get the cows right now.
Okay.
I have never confirmed this, but I'm pretty certain that the Bundys had no idea that there was an order to shoot if they went forward. And so I ran the length of 5 football fields to get down into the wash where the Bundys and other supporters were preparing to go up against the BLM. Now at that point, I just had this unbelievably bad feeling that something bad was about to happen.
Our Father in heaven, we are so grateful for this land. We're grateful as citizens of this country, and we're grateful for the opportunity we have to express our desire to be free. Help us to stand strong. Please help us as we go about this task, that we will be safe and that we invoke thy power to defend us. And we ask these things humbly and in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. So the mindset of those in that prayer circle.
They were willing to die. I heard it in their voices. I saw it in their eyes.
Nobody cares about your stinking order!
And then we'll get some courage and walk up there and ask them to demand that they leave.
Are you going to, or are we going as a group?
A group.
As a group.
And no man goes alone. Let's go. Let's do it then. Hey.
Wait. If you move forward, you could be shot.
There was no one person taking the leadership role. It was just everybody going out and trying to do something for a cause they strongly believed in. But we were talking about guns. We were talking about a very dangerous situation.
Am I allowed to walk on this property up to that fence?
Do anything you want if you're not afraid of being shot.
You found yourself as sort of a mediator of sorts in a moment here.
I'm tired of going to these things and watching Americans at war with each other. It's not the way it's supposed to be.
Can I talk to you? I have no gun. I am shooting for Fox News. Can I approach? I do not have a weapon. I do not have a weapon. I'm from New York. May I approach so this doesn't end in bloodshed? I do not have a weapon. These people don't want to get hurt.
Fox News. They're trying to make Harry Reid the target. He's the bad guy for telling the truth.
They had sniper rifles on the freeway. They had assault weapons. They had automatic weapons. And as one of the former sheriffs from Arizona said, and we had children and women lined up because if anybody got hurt, we wanted to make sure they got hurt first because we wanted the federal government hurting women and children.
Now, right after Harry Reid made those comments, Fox News rushed to defend Bundy and criticize the senator from Nevada. Fox News guest and filmmaker Dennis Lynch, he was present at Saturday's standoff.
I was at the front of the front line. I heard nobody say women and children first. Everybody said, let's be peaceful. At the same time as I had a sense that it was going to go in the wrong direction, not because of the people on my side, but because of the people on the other side. That looked like Afghanistan.
Very clear. Well, Dennis Lynch should really watch Fox News.
We were actually strategizing to put all the women up at the front. If they're going to start shooting, it's going to be women that are going to be televised all across the world getting shot by these rogue federal officers.
Wow. Seems to me like they got a horrible journalist on the payroll. I think Fox News wants a shootout. I think Fox News wants a shootout at the OK Corral. I don't think they can get enough of this stuff.
Number one, I have never been on the Fox payroll. Number two, I paid my own way to and from Nevada, and I handed over my footage to the Kelly file voluntarily. Number three, as far as that sheriff goes and that outrageous statement he said, I did not see that man the entire morning. I did not see one child down in the wash. And you heard it for yourself on this tape. Bundy's son clearly said, we go forward as a group. He never referred to women or children. And that leads to the last point. That's why I went forward. I went forward because I did not want the BLM to feel as if they were being rushed. And so I went peacefully. And they were comfortable with that. At the same time as I wanted the people behind me to realize the fact that the BLM, although the order may have been to shoot, they really didn't want to shoot anyone. And by moving forward and taking that lead spot, my hope was that the BLM would send somebody and take the lead spot. And that's exactly what happened.
Did you say to go to the side? I have no weapon. Are you really going to shoot these people if they move forward, yes or no? Sir! If you know, you shoot. If you shoot me, you shoot. I got no gun. I'm asking you one question. Sir! What is wrong with you? Come on. Hey, you're gonna get me shot, man. Get back. Sir, can you read your announcement but not through the What is wrong with you?
So these people who hold themselves out to be patriots are not. They're nothing more than domestic terrorists.
Domestic terrorists. Listen, you know how passionate I am about terrorism. I witnessed 9/11. It is disrespectful to Americans for that man to call these people terrorists. He is the terrorist, and as far as I'm concerned, in this situation. I want an explanation. Senator, why did you point guns at the American people? Was it to protect turtles?
If they breach this, that's not going to be good. Let's talk, because I'm working with the Bundys to work on releasing cattle. But if they do this, I'm working with Metro right now. But you've got to give me time to do that. You got to hold that job. Tell them. You need to tell them. Tell them.
Yeah. Amen.
Give me amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Bundy.
Dave is there too.
Bundy. Bundy, come here.
Amen.
Bundy. No, 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 no. Amen.
No, no.
Amen.
Hang on, hang on.
Hang on. Amen.
It's pretty hard to de-escalate when you got guys with helmets and M16s up there aimed at us.
This is the beginning of a rebellion.
I know, that's why I need
you know that? I mean, this is all over the world. You're going to see this.
I know, that's why we're going to de-escalate right now.
You've got to de-escalate. You've got to get these guys with these guns pointed on the people. Get them back off.
Go over your folks.
Get the guns off of us. Get the guns off of us.
Amen. Come here.
This is a worldwide story. This is going on television in China.
I know. No gun pointing. No guns.
Get the guns off. No guns on American citizens.
Ammon Bundy. Give me Ammon Bundy. Hurry, give me Ammon Bundy.
You gotta get him to go over here. You gotta go.
Don't leave everybody up.
Yeah, no, wait.
Ammon or David? Ammon or David?
Amen or David?
They gotta hold it back. If they push up here.
You gotta stay back.
You gotta push it back.
Amen. Amen. They're not going to do anything with me here. Come on, they're not going to do anything with me here.
In the neck. Amen. Hey, listen. I'm currently in negotiations with your family, all right, to find a peaceful resolution to this. Don't escalate it down here. Allow me time to talk upstairs with Metro, all right? Push these people back up off the gate. Push them back up off the gate. We're going to work to release these cattle. Listen to me. I'm going to work with you.
No.
I'm going to work with you, but I need you to back up.
I understand that what you're doing, and you will get that time.
Okay.
But we're not playing here.
I know, I get that. But can we push them back up off the gate for right now? Let me work with you and you. I'll allow you two to come in with me.
We're not going in there. We're
not
staying
getting
right
arrested.
here. No, we're
you
not
got my
going
word
in
that no
I
one's
don't
taking
care.
in
We're not
custody.
going
If
in
you
there.
want to stay there, that's great. They're getting your dad
You
up
just go
top.
do your thing.
No, they're getting your dad
and
up
we'll make
top.
we'll make sure that
And
we're
your
here
dad's
as a
gonna need some
presence.
help if they decide that they're going to pull those pins. But I need, it's only going to be Bundy and his son.
No,
that's
no,
it.
it's the people or not, and you guys need to leave.
Okay.
You need to leave. That's the
I'm
term.
telling you, you need to de-escalate the situation.
No,
I'm
you need to
imploring
leave.
upon you your responsibility to de-escalate.
Television around the world right now. Listen. You are on Nevada state property.
Okay,
and
there's a time for
you. No,
and there's a time
the
for those
time is
discussions.
now.
We're doing that.
No, the
but
time
you need
is
to push
now.
these people back so they can do it safely. Push them back so they can do it
You
safely.
leave.
They're going
That's
to.
what needs to
They're
happen.
going to. They can't leave if they're engaged. So push them back.
Let's give them
Push
time to
back.
negotiate. Let's give them time to talk.
Okay, that's all I need. Push them back up off the gate, or they've got to stay here. I need about 30 minutes.
30 minutes. We'll give you 30 minutes.
You can push all these people back.
30 minutes.
Push them back.
We'll back up. Let's back up.
Back them up.
Back them up.
These guys are the shade. Amen. David, these people cannot stay that close. These people have to stay in the shade. Hey, back them up.
Half an hour. Half an hour.
This is on Sydney. This is on Sydney television right now.
Because he doesn't want to negotiate with me, just so you know.
We're trying to talk. Hey, we're trying to talk to your dad up top.
We understand.
No one needs to get hurt here, right? We know that.
This is on Australian television right now.
I know, that's fine.
Half hour.
Let's push these people back.
Yeah, a half hour.
Push these people back.
Half an hour.
Okay,
Half an
push
hour.
them back. Push them back. And then Davey. Hey, Davey. We're working on that right now, sir.
30 minutes! 30 minutes!
30 minutes!
30 minutes!
Push them back. Push them back.
Yeah.
30 minutes!
Hey, I'm working with you. Push
Yeah,
them
no,
back.
I know. Listen.
I'm going to do my job. Push them back.
Yep.
Allow me to do my job. Get them back. I'll work with you. But you got to push them back so these guys can disengage. All right? That's fair. Is that fair? That's fair. Push them back.
Go do your work. You guys need to leave.
Yes,
You need to leave.
what I need you to do, listen to me. They've got to be far enough back that these guys can disengage. Okay? They've got to be far enough back. All right. You understand that? You get that? Back to a pillar, right? Yo, I would like them back under that bridge line right there. To that bridge line. I'll come out. I give you my word. I'm working. I'm going to work up top. I'm going to find the resolution, but you've got to give me the space to work. All right. Okay. My name's Dan Love. I'm the incident commander for this operation. I'm the head guy in charge. Your dad's going to need help with this, okay? So do you or anyone want to come with you? I'm not going to arrest you. I'll give you my honest word right here. I'm going to walk you in so you can negotiate with your father up top. That's what I'd like.
If I come with you.
I don't know if we have.
He's got it on camera right here.
What we're negotiating.
All we're doing is doing how to safely remove these cattle. You see what I'm saying?
Let's see what he has to say.
I'm telling you, you got to push these people back so they can disengage.
Let's see what he has to say. You ready?
Yeah, you coming up and over?
Can I go? No.
That's all I can have right here. That's all I can have. So I just need all of these people. Amen. I need you to help me push them back so I can disengage these people. All right? I need you to push them back. You don't follow you. They'll listen to you and push them. But I can't disengage all these people if those people are that close. You get that? So I got to push them back so it's safety, it's peaceful. We can walk. These people can disengage. We can find a resolution. So if you can
30 minutes.
Yeah, but then come back. So because I need you up top.
I'm just going to stand up and talk.
Okay.
Hey, you want me to walk along there?
Yes, it probably will take less than 30 minutes. I just need to get on.
You want me to walk along there?
No, I'll walk with you.
Hey! Hey! They promised to leave and release the cattle in 30 minutes. But they want us to get back farther so they can disengage.
I know. I just keep trying to push them for me. I know, but
this minute you got to work with them.
I'm working. Well, obviously, I'm working. I need you to push them back as far as you can.
Back past the pillars, like
okay, you understand that these guys can't disengage as long as there's an issue. I get it, and we're working to resolve that. Okay, I'm gonna work with him right here to resolve this. Here's Tom Roberts right here.
They're back
So
far.
here's Tom Roberts right here. I need to push back to that underpass right there. Listen. Tom's right there. He'll tell you the same thing.
Ryan is up there with Mark McEwen.
Okay.
And we're getting the final approval for you guys to come in here or with some organization, and we'll go up, we'll get the cattle, and we'll drive them out. But we need you know how dangerous cattle are, so we got to make sure that it's controlled, and it's just you and your handlers. Okay, so that we don't trample anybody, and we really, we'll have to get a lot of these people out of here because they're going to be,
Ammon leaving?
Yeah, well, you gotta give us time to do that. Okay? They are leaving. Okay, it's gonna take them a little while to pack up and get out here. They're pretty much about halfway done. So
Well, we're gonna be here.
I know. I'm good. I don't have a problem with that.
I appreciate you.
No, don't worry.
So let's talk about Harry Reid. There is speculation regarding Senator Reid's role in this entire mess. It starts with Neil Corns, who for 8 years was on Senator Reid's staff before joining the BLM. And Corns was named head of the BLM just days before the agency started confiscating Bundy's cattle. Senator Reid has also been accused of attempting to shut down the ranch in order to move ahead with 2 nearby solar energy projects, one of which he pushed heavily for, and that could be because it was spearheaded by his son Rory, who was the former county commissioner of Clark County, Nevada, and as a lawyer represented a Chinese-backed company seeking to build a $5 billion solar plant near Bundy's Ranch. Senator Reid's office denies these claims, but there's a question. Why would the BLM remove this document from its website? The document directly states that Bundy's cattle impacts the development of solar power generation facilities on public lands. Once the Bundy stuff started to happen, that document was removed off that BLM government website.
Releasing all those cattle right now, that's a safety issue within itself. You got people in the wash, we got people milling about, that's going to get a lot of people hurt. So I need you to work with me to allow that to happen, to keep these people calm, so that they understand that we're working for a peaceful resolution to this.
We told them 30 minutes.
I know, you're going to have to go down and reconvey to them that you've got it under control. You guys are the ones calling the shots here,
We
right?
just want to see you moving on it, and then I think we can keep them under control.
Vehicles move
Okay.
and that'll be a good thing.
So, you know, it's going to take a little bit of time to pack these trailers, to get equipment hooked up, to get four-wheelers loaded. But I can't have a bunch of people milling around down there if you're going to go in
Can we
and
have
release
a
those
few
cattle.
token vehicles moving out? I mean, if I understand not the whole convoy, but we can have a few token vehicles moving out.
I'll throw a couple out to give you so it looks like you're making some progress.
Very well.
Right, I'm happy to do that. But what I need you to do is to keep this crowd calm.
I will do
above
that.
and below.
I will do that.
Okay, and then you and I will reconvene. We'll have a talk.
Okay.
You know, again, the only thing I need to tell you is on behalf of the United States federal government, I cannot authorize you to release those
Understood.
cattle.
We're
so
okay
under
with
penalty
that.
of law, you understand that releasing them is something that you will bear, correct?
Very well.
Okay.
Very well. Okay, I am going to walk. Oh, pardon me? I'm going to walk down there and address the crowd.
Right now, they're at that first underpass. I need one underpass further away.
Very well. So
I can
we'll
disengage
ride down
people.
that way, address the crowd, then ride back up.
Perfect.
The West has now been won! Let me tell you how this is going to happen, though. They have agreed to pull out. They're going to start loading their equipment immediately, and within, well, it's going to take them more than 30 minutes, but they said they'd have their first vehicles going out in a few minutes to show that they're moving. Then we're going to go in, and we're going to open the gates and bring the cattle down. Bring the cattle down! The horse! Okay. Everyone listen! It's going to take a little bit of time, so you need to be patient. Okay? And we want to draw back to the second bridge. We can stay under the shade of the second bridge.
You want us to go now?
Just a minute, let me finish addressing.
One more thing. We need to recognize these guys as authority.
Very well. This is the county sheriff who have done this. Thank you, Proper jurisdictional authority has been restored here.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so
Appreciate you.
we will remain peaceful. There's been no shots fired. There's not going to be any shots fired.
April 12th, 2014. It's just one page in the big book called Ammon Bundy. Ultimately, it's up to you to decide whether or not these are good people, dangerous people, out there maybe just saving themselves $1 million, or out there just trying to really work hard and to survive what they believe is unfair government interaction. And there are so many differing stories about what took place on that day, and I hope that I gave you the facts and the information that you need in order to make your own decision. I will say this. The BLM manages more than 247 million acres throughout the United States, and it is a very powerful agency with a very shady history. Just do a Google search for BLM corruption and watch the stories pile on. The Government Accountability Office recently published a report stating the BLM's management is at high risk for waste and fraud. And as far as our friend Ed at MSNBC, Ed referred to Ammon Bundy as a freeloader because Ammon Bundy doesn't want to pay a tax and a fee he doesn't believe is his to pay. I'm just wondering how Ed can refer to this man as a freeloader when one of his colleagues, Reverend Al Sharpton, owes more than $4 million to the government in back taxes. You want a little Harry Reid hypocrisy? The next day, after I had appeared on the Kelly File, one of the producers called me and said, last night when the show was over, Harry Reid's office called us, and he was pissed off that you called him a terrorist on national television.